What's going on, guys? PXCam20 back in with a brand new video. We are here at Willow Springs for a Manufactured Cup race as we are in the grade 4 cars in our Mercedes SLS AMG grade 4, as we're going to try to do as best as we can on this racetrack, as this is one of the toughest racetracks on the game in my opinion. And this is not the perfect car for this racetrack, as the cars here that you really want to be able to compete are going to be cars that are going to be handling dependent, and this car is not handling dependent. So if you guys haven't yet, we're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. If you guys really enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video, as it really helps out the channel when you guys do so. So let's jump straight to our qualifying. So coming into qualifying here, we are coming out of the final corner as we are finishing up our flyer lap. You can see the car ahead of us clips the dirt. Kind of affects us a little bit, but not too much, as we're going to cross the line. We get a 117.5. It's an alright lap, as you see. We're going to fast forward here through our qualifying, and you can see that we're just immediately dropping down the ranking, as we went from second all the way down to 11th place towards the end of the qualifying. We try to get another flyer in, and we actually do not improve. So we are stuck in 11th place for our starting position as we are jumping into the intro here. So the strategy here was to just stay behind the slipstream, try to save as much fuel as you can, as the medium tires were the required tires. There was only 2 compounds in this race, which was the softs and the mediums. So we're going to be starting on the softs, try to save as much fuel as we can, and basically just wait until lap 11 or 12 to make our pit stop, and then switch off to the mediums. So jumping into the race now, we fast forward here into turn number 1. We are right behind the Aston Martin as we head into turn number 2. Coming down the rabbit here, you can see the cars ahead of us are clipping the dirt a little bit as we clip the dirt a little bit, but as you see, 8th place gets loose, goes back into the track, luckily ghosts out as we almost run into him. He almost takes us out as we head into turn 3 and 4, so we got very, very lucky that he got ghosted. And now we are promoted all the way up into 10th, as we are now right behind the Aston Martin coming down to turn number 5. So coming to turn number 5 and 6, we're heading down the straightaway that's going to lead us into the final corner, heading into turn number 8. We try to keep behind the Aston Martin as we are heading into turn number 9. Very, very tricky corner as we break right after the 150 meter board, and you can see the Aston Martin actually gets very, very loose, clips the dirt, and goes off into the distance, and we are able to make another overtake, push our way up all the way up into 9th place. As we fast forward here down the straightaway, we try to catch up to 8th place as we head into turn number 1. So heading into turn number 1, we're right behind 8th place as we're going to try to get a good exit coming out of the rabbits here. Take a very, very early entrance going into the rabbits here. We keep it onto the inside as we're going to get a good exit coming out of turn number 2. We got to move onto the outside. We actually go into the dirt. We're trying to keep it straight as we try to keep it straight right now, heading into turn number 3. Luckily, we don't spin out, but we are under pressure now by 10th as we got overtaken by 9th. And we get overtaken by 10th again. As you see, 2 cars are now right behind us. We get bumped out heading out of turn number 4, getting into turn number 5 here. And we're going to try to keep it onto the outside. It's going to turn into the inside as we're able to defend our position heading out of that turn. Still trying to keep it to the inside here as we're coming out of turn number 6. The car is still on our outside as we're heading down the straightaway, heading into turn number 8. And 12th place is starting to look onto the outside as we're coming down here. We're going to try to keep it onto the inside and pinch him out as we are heading towards turn number 9. We try to keep it onto the inside here. As you can see, he backs out a little bit, and we're able to hold the position as the 2 cars behind us are actually fighting with each other, and we get out in 11th place. So now it's going to be a catch-up race as we're going to try to catch up to the cars ahead of us. You see 10th place is right ahead of us again as we head into the rabbits here again. We try to get a good run into the inside and try to just keep it behind him as we come out of turn number 2, going into turn number 3. We try to stay right behind him, follow him on the slipstream as we're going to try to save as much gas as we can coming to turn number 3 now. And just try to save as much gas as we can so we don't have to spend that much time in the pits for when we have to gas up the car and change the tires to the medium. So coming out of turn number 3 here, heading into turn number 5 and 6, we still right behind the Ford as we're going to try to get a good run coming out of here, heading down the straightaway. We are right behind the Ford and the slipstream, and we're going to head into turn number 8 and 9 right behind him as we're getting a kind of a good run now. He's kind of pulling away from us, but we're just trying to get as close as we can as we head into turn number 8 and turn number 9. Break right after the 150 meter board. Try to get a good entrance coming out of this right-hander. Get a good exit here. As you see, the Ford actually gets wide, and we're able to overtake him as we head down into turn number 5 and 6. So On lap number 6 now, we are right behind 9th place. And we're going to try to stay in the slipstream here as we come out of turn number 6. Going down the straightaway now, you see a car actually goes out wide, so let's see what happens here. So the Honda is in 7th here as they come into turn number 5 and 6. Brakes very, very early, gets a really bad exit and actually clips the dirt. So he gets into the dirt, gets very, very loose, goes off to the outside, clips the dirt again, almost takes out 7th actually in the process, and that gains us another position. So we move up from 10th to 9th place from the mistakes that the cars ahead of us are making. So that's all we're going to have to basically do is just keep it on the track, avoid mistakes, keep it clean, and hopefully we should be able to finish in a good position as we are now catching up to the Mazda ahead of us going down the straightaway. We get a very good run as we're going to be in the slipstream with him. We just give him a little bit of a tap there, help him increase his speed as we head into turn number 1. We're still trying to save gas as we head into turn number 1, as we are about a few laps away from making our pit stop now, as we're still right behind the Mazda heading to the bunny ears now. Coming out of turn number 2, we're still right behind the Mazda as we get very, very close coming out of turn number 2, and we're going to try to just keep it behind him. Let go of the throttle as early as we can as we head into this corner right here. If we do, as we're going to try to save gas, but the Mazda actually goes a little bit wide heading into turn number 4. And we take a look on the outside, but we back out of the move there. It's going to be a single file lane here coming out of turn number 4, heading into turn number 5. So we fast forward here, still right behind the Mazda as we're gaining on him coming down the straightaway, heading into turn number 8. We're still right behind the Mazda as we are actually getting closer and closer to him as we kind of take a look on the outside, brake again right before the 150 meter board, let the Mazda get into position as going side by side into the final corner is basically a recipe for disaster. And the Mazda comes in to make his pit stop as we're still waiting for our turn to make the pit stop. So jumping into lap number 9, we're getting pressured now by 9th place as we're just going to let him go because there's going to be no point in racing hard right now as we're still halfway through the race. And there's really no point in trying to battle and possibly making a mistake and running out wide and crashing or something like that. So jumping into lap number 10 now, you see 7th and 6th actually go into the pits. So we're going to gain 2 positions there, or actually 3 positions as 5th also came into the pits. They're all changing their tires and getting in fuel as we come into lap number 11 now. So coming into lap number 11, you can see we're almost out of fuel now as we have half a lap left of fuel. And we're going to switch from the softs to the mediums and just fill up the tank as best as we can. Fill it up as much as we can now. We put in about 7.2 laps of fuel. And we come out of the pits in 7th place, so we actually made an overtake there, a couple overtakes, as we came in 9th a couple laps prior, and now we're up to 7th. So another car comes into the pits, so we're able to promote ourselves into 6th place as we are coming out of turn number 2, heading into, or turn number 4, heading into turn number 5. You see the 2 cars ahead of us actually make contact, and one of the cars goes out, and 4th place has a penalty, so we're able to catch up on him. Let's see what happens here. As you can see, the Chevy goes out a little bit wide coming out of turn number 4, and they don't actually go side by side into turn number 5. The Porsche gains a little bit of dirt as he hits the rubber, and 4th place actually clips the dirt and just spins out right in front of the Porsche. And unfortunate for the Porsche, he gets a 2-second penalty because of that. So really wasn't an aggressive move or anything. It was just the Chevy just making a mistake and the Porsche having to suffer because of that. So we are going to capitalize on that and gain another 2 positions. So now we're up into 4th. I can't believe that we are in 4th, honestly, because this car is just very, very difficult to drive on this track. And it's just not the best car to drive on here as we are starting to pull away now from 5th place. So coming up into lap number 11 now, coming out of turn number 2, you can see there's starting to build up a train behind us as we are coming out of turn number 2. And you see there's a car still right behind us as he's going to try to make a move on the inside. We brake as late as we can coming past into turn number 3, and he actually gains the position on us. So we get demoted into 5th as he actually gets a little loose, and we make contact with the Toyota. So coming out of turn number 4 now, we're going to try to stay right behind him and just try to see if we can stay behind him and hopefully make a move towards the end of the race as we are now jumping into lap number 5. Coming out of turn number 3 into turn number 4, we're still trying to stay with the Toyota, but now we're starting to get pressured from 6th place as we head into turn number 5 and 6. And it's the McLaren right behind us as he's gaining a ton of time on us as we head into turn numbers 5 and 6 here. Heading down to the straightaway now, we're going to try to keep it as fast as we can as we are now revving the engine heading into the straightaway that leads us into turn number 8 and 9. We're keeping on to the inside as you see the McLaren is trying to make a move on the outside We're gonna keep it pinched down on the inside here. We almost made contact coming into turn number 8 and 9. We brake as late as we can and try to keep it onto the inside, as we're probably gonna get a really terrible exit coming out of here. We're gonna try to rely on the Mercedes power to hold off the McLaren, but the McLaren actually gives us a bump draft, so that kind of helps us out as we come out of into the straightaway. So jumping into lap number 16, we're gonna try to do another defensive moves here, as we're gonna head into turn number 8 and turn number 9 on the inside, but the McLaren is actually a little too far back to try to make a move on the outside. So we're gonna move it to the left-hand side of the track and try to get a good entrance as we actually get punted out, and we're into the dirt now. Hit the wall, spin out as we're trying to keep it straight onto the racetrack, but we are unfortunately spun out, and now we are down to 10th place. So let's see exactly what happened here. So you see there's a McLaren and us, and the Porsche just out brakes himself, hits us wide, and this is the result now. So we went from 4th, or not 4th, but 5th place all the way down to 13th place. So very, very bad luck there, as we only had 2 laps left to try to keep it into 5th place. As you see, there's the Porsche that actually wrecked us. So I mean, good on him that he waited for us because he knew he made the mistake, but still just very, very frustrating as we flashed the hazard lights in frustration and displeasement towards him. But jumping into the final lap now, we're heading towards the final 2 corners, and you see we're gonna finish in 11th place as another car actually went into the pit stop on lap number 18. So we're gonna come in 11th place coming out of the final corner. Very, very disappointing race, as we probably should have finished in 5th, or if not 6th place, and we're gonna finish the race in 11th. So again, we just got unlucky again heading into the final few corners, into the final couple of laps, get taken out, and we are ending the race in 11th place, although we should have probably finished in 5th or 6th, but I'll take it. We're still pretty good on points, as this is the 4th race of the top 4 rounds. I guess I don't know if that's the best way to explain it, but we still have 234 points, I believe, heading into the 2nd round of the Manufacturer Cup race. So we're pretty good on points. So this race was just kind of a throwaway race, just to see if we can try to gain more points. But again, we had a good. We thought we were gonna have a good finish, but unfortunately we did not. So anyways, if you guys really enjoyed the content, again, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video. It really helps out the channel when you guys do so. And I hope to see you guys on the next one. Peace.